It's not over yet, guys.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What's poppin', yo? It's your man, Clapboy Bales. Welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly, where, of course, the Packers are still alive. They're not out. They are now 6-8. They are still in the hunt for the playoffs. It is still a wild ride, and it's still a long way to go. It's got to win out, and hopefully teams lose out and Packers get in. It'll be a really tough go, but in the end, it's gonna come down to one or two things. The Packers beat the Rams 24-12. Rams drop to 4-9. Packers go to 6-8. Rams are officially eliminated from the playoffs. Rams go 4-10. My mistake. Rams go 4-10. So that officially does it there. But it's, I wouldn't necessarily say this was a great game on the terms of things, but this kind of seemed a little lousy in my opinion. I expected more, but I didn't. And I wanted to sit there and see more, but there just really wasn't much to sit there and say. So regardless, let's go on with the thing. So game ball, lots of guys really stood out for me today. Quay Walker played great. Keyshawn Nixon and his kick return skills has just been outstanding. He's really adjusted and done well at his own position. Our running back duo, giving Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon the ball a lot of times, that really showed a lot for this team. Also, Kenny Clark did really well. But I feel like today I will give it to Preston Smith. He really got to the quarterback today and provided a lot of pressure. I give Kenny Clark a lot of credit. I think he definitely deserves a lot more recognition, but I feel game ball goes to Preston Smith. He played probably his best game of the season. Best thing we saw, Packers running the ball exactly how they win games this season. When they don't run the ball, they don't win, but honestly, I like to see them run the ball. That's really what they do well. Our rookie wide receivers really did exactly what they needed to do. Finally seeing Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson on the field at the same time, both really getting a majority of playing time, really is what you want to see. Neither of them scored today, but what mattered was we got to see them make some plays that really mattered down the stretch. And at the very end, honestly, I would have liked to see Watson turn his head to get a touchdown, but of course he didn't. And yeah, I can get that. That's a young rookie mistake, but things gotta be different. Also, special teams probably played their best game in a while. Usually, our special teams have been bad in the past, but how about Rich Bisaccia for turning it around and making our special teams, really start to do a lot better? Especially Keyshawn Nixon. What a random pickup he was. He's been such a great kick returner. It's great to have a guy like that doing this. He's just outstanding. Also, our red zone offense, we really had the ball a lot. I think if I'm correct, we only punted the ball once today. So we pretty much held the ball for pretty much almost a big majority of the game. Only 12 points allowed. I think that is the least points allowed. No, actually, no. The Bears game, they allowed 10. But regardless, this is the least amount of points they've allowed in a game in a while. So that's a good plus on the defensive side. Absolutely. And, other things that happened, Enigbare, another guy that you can really put in there. He's a guy that I think is really going to step up. He's a very underrated pick, a guy that can really show some things in the future. He's a very underrated guy and definitely someone that you can really watch. The worst things that I saw in this game was A.J. Dillon. He unfortunately went down with an injury, suffered a concussion, so his status is up to date, but, unfortunately, it sucks because A.J. Dillon is now starting to really been hot as of lately, so it's a tough blow. But the turnovers that really kind of were in the second half, we turned the ball over a little bit. I get it. It's the Rams. They have a great defense. We know that. But That's what's very important. We can't keep turning it over. We saw the Packers turnover on the day, that it was a interception by Rasul Douglas, and instead of just going down, he tries pitching the ball backwards and lateraling it. He could have turned the ball over, and honestly, it did cost them because they actually did turn the ball over, and that they didn't get any points out of it, and that likely would have iced the game there, but instead didn't do that. So honestly, there could have been some things that are different, but you never know. We're 6-8. We're trending up. This is exactly where you want to be. Anyways, the big historic moment of this game was Aaron Jones. He surpassed John Brockington for third place on the Green Bay Packers all-time rushing list, surpassing him with over 300 fewer carries. That is just outstanding. Brockington was literally like one of the toughest runners in Green Bay Packers history, but like Jones is just such a dynamic player. It's just great to see Jones really cement himself into Packers history. And honestly, he's probably one of the best running backs the team has ever had. There isn't really any doubt in my mind. He is a ball carrier with 5+ receiving touchdowns in consecutive seasons, and he is in all-time Green Bay history. He, Dorsey Levens, and Johnny Blood were the only players to do so, so that's a great stat to just have. Going over today's stat line, Aaron Rodgers went 22 out of 30, 229 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. He was sacked 3 times. Not the best game for Aaron Rodgers, but I guess he did exactly what you wanted to try to do. Aaron Jones, 17 carries, 90 yards, and 4 catches for 36 yards, and a touchdown in the air. A.J. Dillon, 11 carries for 36 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as 3 catches for 35 yards. Great to see Dillon doing a lot. Romeo Doubs, 5 catches, 55 yards. Christian Watson, 4 for 46. Randall Godfrey for 32. A couple others from other people, but it's good to see this. The only fumble and turnover by the Pack, there were 2 turnovers. One was an interception made by Taylor Rapp, and Aaron Jones also had a fumble in the game as well. Rasul Douglas led the way with 8 total tackles. Quay Walker had a bunch of tackles, and De'Vondre Campbell as well. Also great to see Keyshawn Nixon really get involved. Quay Walker had a sack. Preston Smith had 2 sacks, Kingsley Enagbari had 2 sacks, and Justin Hollins and Devontae Wyatt both combined for a sack. Rasul Douglas with the only interception today. Keyshawn Nixon had a really great day on the returns. Mason Crosby only 1 field goal on the day, 1 of 1, 3 of 3 from extra points, and only 1 punt of the day for the Packers. For the Rams, Baker Mayfield went 12 of 21 for 111 yards, a touchdown, and a pick, and a carry for 1 yard. Cam Akers had 12 carries for 65 yards and 3 catches for 35 yards. Van Jefferson, 2 for 32. Tyler Higbee, 4 for 27, and the only touchdown of the day for them. No turnovers there. Nick Scott led the way with 9 tackles. Taylor Rapp, 7. Not much. Greg Gaines had 6 and a sack, and Leonard Floyd also had 2 sacks on the day. Taylor Rapp with the only INT of the game. Matt Gay was 2 of 2 from field goals, and Riley Dixon had an okay day punting. So you know what? It is good for both sides, but it sucks for the Rams because they're not really playing for anything since they don't even have a draft pick or anything. So that's that. There's nothing you can really do about that. But the most important thing is the Packers are still alive, and it's a tough road to the end, but they got to do it. They got to hope the Lions lose out. They got to hope Seattle loses out. You got to hope at least Washington or the Giants lose out. It's possible. Now, if they lose, that pretty much, I think, is it. I don't think you can... I think that's pretty much it. I don't think they're gonna... I think it's logistically they're done if that happens, if they lose next week. But anything can happen. Miami on the road on Christmas. It's nice that they play on Christmas again, But, last year we played on Christmas and we won. It was a great game. So maybe things will be different. Rodgers doesn't play that well in the road in Florida, but Miami is a very tough team. Tua's having a phenomenal season. Tyreek Hill's having a phenomenal season. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are some fast wide receivers, so it's going to be very tough for our secondary. They got to do some better. They can't do zone against these guys. They're just going to get killed. So they got to figure out what a better defensive plan. Regardless, Joe Barry's gone. There's no way he's sticking around. But if the Packers know they need this game, then they got to go at home against Minnesota and Detroit for a 2-game homestand. It's very possible they win out. Rodgers has trust in his team. I have trust in this team. It's not over until it's over. When they lose, I think I'll sit there and say that's it. But you know what? There's still a glimmer of hope. Not anything is possible, you know? I wish the Lions didn't have an easy record coming down to the wire, but I guess they do. So, you got to win out if you were the Packers. That's the only way that's really possible. On the contrary, let's hope for the best. It has been a very interesting week of football. We saw the Patriots losing in fashion. We saw the Cowboys losing in fashion. And we saw the Vikings with the largest comeback in NFL history. What an amazing game by the Vikings to pull that off and win their division. Congratulations to them. Can't wait to see you choke in the playoffs. And it'll be interesting to just see what happens. 3 more weeks to go until the regular season. It is not over for the Packers until I say it's over. Obviously, regardless of the Packers being eliminated, I'm still going to make my videos each and every game because, of course, obviously that's what I love to do, and I will still be making videos predicting the playoffs because that's what I love to do. And of course, as always, if you like my content, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, give me a like, do whatever. And as always, we will see you next time. Go Pack.